All right, welcome everybody. This is F period algebra 1. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to move a little fast because it's actually my third attempt at recording this video and my battery is marginal at best and I only have about 10 or 12 minutes of video time. So we're going to move rather briskly, but I do want to remind you a couple things. We're going to work on section 5.1, the problem set 1 from yesterday, and I'm going to walk through actually problems 4, 5, and 6 on the back and 7 and 8 just to ensure that your understanding is correct and you're completing the problems correctly. If you have not done so, I'd pause the tape now and complete that problem set and then kick back into it and we'll walk you through it. I also encourage you, I've only seen a couple of you guys on my Monday through Friday morning Zoom office hours or availability, and I've sent you the link every single day. You can come on and join me and Zion. Zion's on every day, sometimes for an hour and a half, so you can see his smiling face also. But look forward to seeing you. So let's walk real quickly through, we're solving inequalities, all right? And this problem set, it says by addition, so it's telling you exactly what you're going to do. We got to add something to isolate and solve for that variable. And we're going to apply the same properties of equality, which in a nutshell says I can do anything I want to either side of that equation slant inequality as long as I do the exact same thing to both sides. So in this first problem, we've got n minus 8 is less than or equal to negative 13. And how to read these, one way you might help remember is the smaller or lesser side of that sign is to the left. So that would be a less than, whereas this one, the larger or greater than portion of that sign is to on the left side. And as you read everything from left to right. So less than, greater than. All right, so when it says we've got to add, that's the name of this problem set, so there's no mystery there. So again, what I do to one side, I got to do the exact same thing to the other. So we're just going to add 8 to both sides to isolate that 8, or that n, on the left side. All right, so negative 8 plus 8 zeroes out, and I'm left with n is less than negative 13 plus 8, which is a negative 5. All right. Different from an equation is we've got a solution set now as opposed to a single value as our solution to that variable, which represents an unknown number. Right? So it says n is less than negative 5. So it doesn't have an equal sign, so we put a circle around it because it does not include negative 5. And if we have that variable on the left side, it tells you exactly which way to graph this. So it says go to the left. Right? And as you know from your middle school math days with a number line, the numbers are smaller as you move from 0 to the left, and they're larger as you move from 0 to the right. So we would just darken in this side of the graph, and that is n is less than negative 5. So let's just look at that for a moment, which means anything smaller than negative 5, when I plug that value in for n, the left side is going to have a value less or smaller than negative 13. So let's just pick negative 10 and see and actually confirm that that's a true statement. So we're going to say n equals negative 10 because it's a whole solution set of values, not a single variable with an inequality. So if I plug in negative 10 for the n, I have now have negative 10 is less than negative 8. Or correction, negative 10 minus 8 is less than negative 13. We do the math. Negative 10 and negative 8 is a negative 18. Is less than negative 13, all right? So negative 13 would be somewhere in this area. Negative 18 would be way over here. And as you know, the numbers are getting less than or smaller than as we move left. So that is a true statement, a true calculation, and a true solution. All right? For number 5, again, we're just going to add and isolate for that variable, but it's on the right side, and we'll address that here at the end. So if I add 12 to this side, excuse me, I got to add 12 to the right side. That zeroes out. So I got 0 is greater than negative 12 plus 12. That zeroes out. 0 is greater than y. All right? But it's kind of hard to interpret with that variable being on the right side of an inequality. So I'm just going to, again, using one of the properties of equality, I'm going to move it to the other side. So I got y and 0. I just reverse the order, kind of a commutative type property where I just reverse the order. And the way to remember this is that inequality is pointing at the y, so just keep it pointing at the y. So this now says y is less than 0, which is equivalent to saying 0 is greater than y, but if we put it in this format, it makes more sense logically, and it makes it very easy to graph. We just circle the 0, and we're going to go less than 0 to the left. All right? Take a break, and we're going to go now to number 6. And number 6 says negative 6 is greater than m minus 8. All right? So we're going to isolate the m. Again, it's on the right side, but now we know how to fix that at the end. So we're going to add 8 to this side to isolate for that m. If I add 8 to the right, I've got to add 8 to the left. All right, so that zeroes out. So I got m. I got my inequality sign. I got negative 6 plus 8 is 2. Okay, and now we're going to reverse the order. I'm going to put m over on the right side, which is where I want it and need it. And I'm going to put 2 on the m on the left side, where I want it and need it. I'm going to put 2 on the right side. It's pointing at my m, so I'm going to keep it pointing at the m, which says m is less than 2, which is actually equivalent to 2 is greater than m. So again, it doesn't have an equal, so we're going to circle the 2, and it's actually saying, go left, my young man, go left. All right, so all these values here are less than 2. Trying to think what else. There's something that slipped my mind and I thought we'd go over, but so m is less than 2. So if I plugged in any of these values less than 2 into this, the value on this side will be smaller than negative 6. That's what you're telling me with this answer. All right, in these next series of questions, all we're going to do is solve for the variable. We don't have to graph. All right, and again, we're just using addition once again. So looks like the only thing I would need to do here is add 4x over to add 4x to both sides, because that's the name of this section. All right. All right. So 4x and a negative 3x is just a positive x or 1x. We have the less than or equal to 8. Okay. So my final answer is x is less than or equal to 8. So let's do a confirmation on that too to make sure that my solution is any value less than or equal to 8. So let's just pick 10 as an arbitrary value. Actually 10 wouldn't work because that's greater than 8. So let's pick 0. That way we'll keep the math simple. So we're going to say x is 0 because again this x is less than or equal to 8 is a whole solution set. It's 8 and anything smaller than 8, which has an infinite number of possibilities. So let's plug 0 into this calculation, and what we should have on this side should be a smaller value than what we have on this side. So if I plug in 0, every place it says x, I have negative 3 times 0 is less than or equal to 8 minus 4 times 0. Let's do the math. I like multiplying by 0 because 0 times anything is always 0. All right, we got 8. You can't do anything with that. Minus 4 times 0, which is 0. And we end up with 0 is less than 8. Check. That's a true statement. All right, so we're doing well. All right, last one. All right, so looks like the only thing we're adding, the only thing I can add, the only thing I'm going to add is a negative number, and here it is. So I'm going to add 0.4n to this side. And if I do it to the right, I got to do it to the left. Right? That zeroes out. 0.6 and 0.4 is a 1.0n. Or just n, all right, as we simplify things. And they're both greater than or equal to. These are equivalent to each other, and we have 12. So this is really our answer. N is greater than or equal to 12, which means 12 all the way up to 112, 1,000,012, 1,000,000,012, like the deficit, is going to be greater than n. Okay? I think that clarifies things. Again, just a reminder, I want to see everybody on the Monday through Friday Zoom office hours at least twice per week, so that just make sure we're all operating off the same sheet of music, particularly those that I haven't heard from. I hope we all are doing well. Make sure you check previous assignments because I am missing some quizzes, some flexor quizzes, some problem sets from some of you folks that have been a little bit obscure lately. But so please check in with me and let me know how you're doing. Hope you're doing well. We'll talk to you later, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.